When people sit down, the hip flexors are going to be in a short position. You don't just want to stretch it because it won't necessarily help it get stronger. It might just make it weaker and longer, which you don't want to do because that will feel tight again.
Training isn't just about looking pretty. Training is also about health and longevity too, which we can't ever forget about.
Doing the hip flexor training as well through a full range of motion, so every muscle needs to be strong and long. Same for your glutes. Strengthening the glutes will help them switch on, which means when you stand up from the desk, your glutes will be firing. And ladies, I know you girls want a nice ass, but guys, you need it as well.
Yes, you do. Thank you so much for stopping on the podcast. We really do appreciate you taking your time to spend some time with us. We have found that a lot of people who stop on the podcast aren't actually subscribed to us, and we really want to help the podcast grow to help more people's performance and well-being. Because at the end of the day, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people out there who need to hear the messages that our top experts are speaking about. So if you could simply leave us a subscribe, leave us a follow, or even just leave a like and a comment, it would really help us grow and really get the podcast out to more people.
Right, if you're a desk worker and you're getting bad posture, you're getting aches, you're getting pains, maybe a little bit of fat around the middle, this is for you. Because we're going to show you a training plan, in fact, that you can use to get yourself in decent posture and get rid of those aches and get rid of that little bit of fat. And become a lean, toned, confident badass.
Because realistically, the people we're talking to here just don't feel like they have the time to work out. It's the age-old saying, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do a workout. I'm super busy. I've got too much going on. I've got kids. I've got grandma who keeps falling down the stairs. What do I do with my time? How do I get a workout in to help benefit my health and longevity? Because training isn't just about looking pretty. Training is also about health and longevity too, which we can't ever forget about. It's not about having that always physical aesthetic. It's about internally having the workings. Because who wants to be 25 to 30 years old and have the back of a 90-year-old? Just saying.
Unless it's Clint Eastwood, because the man's 96 and he looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's some people out there who've got strength for days. But if you look in the Asian communities, a lot of the Asian communities have really strong lower parts of their spine because they spend a lot of their time being mobile, being moving around. You've heard of the Asian squat?
Yeah, well, I've heard of shitting in the woods.
What?
How we're supposed to shit.
Oh, right.
Versus how we shit in the Western world.
For a minute, I was like, what?
Like, if anyone's been to Dubai and you've seen the toilets, obviously there's like a hole in the ground.
And you just squat.
It's better for your body to shit in that position. That's what I'm trying to say. That being said, let's go into the program. So, when it comes to desk-bound people, there is a first thing we've got to talk about, and that is the mobility angle. Like, people think that stretching is something you have to go and do an hour of, maybe at a yoga class 3 days a week. It's not necessary. I normally suggest a 5-minute stretch routine in the morning. And if you're really pinched for time, but you're still going to get some training in the week, you can do it after your training sessions as well. 5 minutes, 10 minutes is fine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like something to mobilize the body and move around a little bit is key. I was speaking to someone the other day who said about their aches and pains that they keep getting over time. They're like, oh, why don't you tend to get many aches and pains? I'm like, I do, but they're very minor. But I stretch every day.
It gets worse when you're older, man.
Well, of course it does, yeah. I'm expecting
The other day I'm thinking, I'm 34 now, I'm thinking, what the fuck? Why have I got an ache there? I had an ache there before, what the fuck? Every year it just gets worse. Oh, in my knee and also my hip.
Oh, it's all right. It's fine.
But little niggles that I didn't have when I was younger, like, it gets slightly worse as you get older. Anyway, let's not talk about that. So, mobility-wise, what should you be stretching? Well, 5 minutes, you can do 10 seconds of stretch, which, by the way, is actually more than enough if you do it daily, especially, to make a muscle longer.
Are we talking a 10-second hold?
A 10-second stretch. It's definitely, you're supposed to stretch between 20 and 30 seconds, right? But that's taken into account not doing it every single day. So we're talking every single day, 10 seconds of hold, you will start to find your muscles become more flexible. And that can fix a lot of issues. We suggest going through a balance of some yoga movements and some more generic, I call them military-based ones, but the standard toe touching, for example. Honestly, I could give you a list right now. Baby pose, cobra, hip flexor stretch, thread the needle, 90-90, toe touch, God, it's hard to do off the top of my head, quad stretch, calf stretch, thoracic extension, chest stretch, shoulder rolls, and that's it. I can think off the top of my head. All those will nail most of the areas of your body.
I'll say it right now as well. If anyone is looking for more kind of, because Nick said some fantastic stretches there, I do actually have a full stretch routine on my YouTube video. It's 5 minutes. So if you guys want to get hold of that, go to Coach King on YouTube, and it's on there for you guys to view. So there is that kind of like short on time, don't know what to do. You can do stretching while you're literally making your coffee in the morning. coffee takes 2 minutes. You can do 2 minutes worth of stretching. There is facilities, and again, it's about saying what you can do, not what you can't do. So I've knuckled down on stretching.
Well, before we move on, we just have to point out that if you are desk-based, the most important areas tend to be our thoracic area.
Mm-hmm.
Like we tend to have this forward hinging position. So you want to do a stretch that's going to open that up. And so that's why the thoracic extension is so effective.
I'll tell you one that I'm just going to demonstrate quickly. One of the ones you probably want to do, hold on. It's called the being sick cat. So if you're sitting at a desk, it's a really good movement. If you sit there and just open up your shoulder blades like that, you kind of look like a cat that's being sick. There's one for you.
I will show you one, but right now, I know a lot of you fuckers will probably make it sexual, so I'm not going to show you it right now.
No one would make it sexual.
Bro, you don't. This audience, man. This audience. I know what you guys are like. I know what you guys are like. We'll get thoracic extension video on the screen for you right now. Thank you, Louis. So that's that, okay? And then we've also got our lower body. We then tend to have a bit of lordosis. So obviously we're looking at like that kind of disposition, or potentially this slumped up position like this. Mm-hmm. So we also need to mobilize the lower back. So thoracic and lower back. Those two areas are probably going to be most of the issues you have. And when we talk about the lower back, it tends to be the hip flexors getting short. That can cause issues with the back curving. So we recommend a hip flexor stretch as priority. So if I'm recommending 2 stretches for you that will change the game for you, it would be thoracic extension and it would be a hip flexor.
Can I throw in the mixture as well? We haven't got onto exercise just yet, but there's 2 exercises I've found that have really been fantastic for strengthening a lot of desk workers. Similar to what you just said there, a cable hip flexor pull to practice using a pulley to pull your knee into your chest has been a fantastic exercise for helping build up the hip flexors that normally contribute to sitting for long periods of time.
And we're talking full range of motion
Full range of motion, knee up, all the way to the chest, trying to pull your hips all the way in, using your hips. A lot of people will try and use their glutes.
So with the hip flexor, obviously, like the thing is, when people sit down, the hip flexors are going to be in a short position. Mm-hmm. So like we're saying, when you want to stretch a muscle, you don't just want to stretch it because it won't necessarily help it get stronger. It might just make it weaker and longer, which you don't want to do because that will feel tight again. Best thing to do, like you just said, is doing the hip flexor training as well through a full range of motion, especially the stretched phase of it, because that is so essential to strengthen. Because in a sitting posture, you're not training that. You're in this position here. You never actually stretch the hip flexor at all. So we want full range of motion through a complete range of motion in order for that hip flexor to get stronger and have less tight issues.
That seated good mornings. Seated good mornings, or any kind of variation of a good morning, fantastic for mobilizing your lower back, getting your hamstrings and glutes firing at the same time too, because people tend to neglect their glutes a lot of the time. Or everyone loves this exercise. Any of my clients watching this, the single leg hip thrust. I argue it's worse than a Bulgarian split squat. I'm actually throwing it in there.
Nah.
It is. It is worse than a Bulgarian split squat. We'll have a debate.
If we're talking about exercise to add, I mean, this is a bit more advanced. I'd say the Bulgarian split squat. You tell us. You do the Bulgarian split squat and do a single leg hip thrust. I promise you, they'll both help you, by the way.
Oh, they're both fantastic exercises,
Bulgarian is underrated for most people.
It's rated, but people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I don't like doing it, unless I have to do it.
Got to do it, man.
I don't know. Why do I have to do it?
Sorry to interrupt this podcast. We've actually just launched a 50 high protein recipe guide for those of you that are struggling with getting your high protein recipes in. We know that you are struggling with time. We know that you're struggling with getting high protein foods in. So this guide is going to make your life easier. And the best thing is, it's completely free. You can get this by going onto the description on the link, or you can DM us directly on Instagram.
Why do I need to do it?
Why is it that we want you to train your hip flexors and glutes? Because if your hip flexor is shortened and it's tight, we want to strengthen it and lengthen it. Those are 2 things that we want. So every muscle needs to be strong and long, okay? Same for your glutes. Your glutes, when you sit on them for long periods of time, the nerve that goes through gets compressed, the glute becomes lazy. When you stand up, rather than your glute engaging straight away, other muscles engage. That's how you have knee pain, back pain, etc. Something that I struggle with a lot is my knee and my back, all right? I'm a tall guy. Back problems are part of the process. It is what it is. So strengthening the glutes will help them switch on, which means when you stand up from the desk, your glutes will be firing, all right? They won't turn into these flat pancakes, which you don't want. And ladies, I know you girls want a nice ass, but guys, you need it as well.
Yes, you do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because girls like it. Right?
They do.
Yeah, and
They
if
do.
you're gay, then obviously guys like it too. All right, we all like a good ass. All right.
That's true, and it's functionality as well, because you need to teach your glutes to move after having long days of work.
Yeah.
Let's move this process on a little bit. People are going to want to again kind of strengthen around those ranges that are important. Would you say the core's of importance to train? Yeah. And in what ranges would you say the core would be important?
I mean, so the core. I mean, once again, like let's say we're in this slouch position. That tends to happen. You're pushed, so the core's relaxed. You tend to have this little bit of a fat stomach look, which even if you've got a six pack, you'll still have. Because even I got a six pack, I've got a fucking proper little fat belly right now. The muscles get weak, and then once again, if you stand up, you then have this lordosis, which is this kind of arched back look. You know, when you've all seen it, an 18-year-old girl trying to show her ass off on the internet.
Yeah.
So the core is very important to protect the back from stress. And it can also be caused by tight hip flexors as well. So strengthening the core, whilst in addition helping the hip flexor and the glutes, you're only going to help with straightening everything out. And the range of motion, I mean, there's two types. There's obviously super maximal in terms of, like, if you're lying on your back, you're straight, right? But if you go beyond that, you're now curving the back. So you can only do that on things like a stability ball, which allow you to go through the full range of motion of the abs and then crunch all the way up. Both of those have their place to certain degrees, but most importantly, holding your core tight has its place, such as planks, hollow holds. Those two exercises are going to do the most for keeping things compressed and tight, or even bracing in a squat.
Yeah, and teaching your core stability as well, because again, similar to lazy glutes, we have a lot of lazy cores around there. You do need to train them. It's important to train them during your lifts. You don't necessarily have to do isolated work, because you're going to do it in a squat if you know how to brace properly, which is, imagine your stomach's a Coke can, you're breathing out, keeping everything nice and tight, creating that kind of metal wall around everything else. That's a good way of thinking about it. Now, I think we should go into a very practical, we've spoken a lot of practical steps there, but I think let's go into, if someone only has 30 minutes to go to the gym and they're a desk worker, they need to get in and out in 30 minutes. What's the workout they can do?
Look, there's two ways to go about this. You can go down a very simple route, or you can go down having a few different exercises, right? If we're talking about a very simple route, 30 minutes, take the squat and just do squat for 30 minutes. And the reason why I say that is you practice the technique of the squat until it's perfect. The core is braced, the glutes are engaged, knees are driving out. You'll fix most of those issues by just having a really good squat. And you train that for 30 minutes, and then eventually when you know how to do the exercise, you can then add other additions in and start building complexity. But that's the simple route, I would say. Don't know if you're the same. But.
So I actually, it was really interesting. I wasn't going to say that at all.
Yeah.
I was just going to go down the usual route of doing a press, a hinge, a squat, and a row.
I would still recommend that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if we're talking like pure desk posture,
yeah,
squat's probably like the holy grail of like trying to fix.
I agree. It's the most important one, because it's going to be the movement pattern that these people are doing constantly. They're up, they're down.
Yeah.
They're up, they're down. That's just the continuous side of things.
Keep going.
If they're up, they're down. So to factor that in, but if we're going to say like a workout with a little bit of variation in there, this comes from a completely nuanced place, by the way, because everyone's program would look differently. But if you're sitting there now going, what from a simple standpoint can I hit all the muscles in my body in a full body workout? What do I need to do? So Nick's just mentioned a squat there. This can be a barbell squat. This can be a goblet squat. If you can do a barbell back squat, that's the most ideal situation to be in, because you can...
Barbell?
Yeah, barbell back squat,
Yeah.
I argue, is the most ideal situation.
Yeah, if they're newbies, I'd say start with obviously body weight, then go to a goblet squat, use a box underneath.
Or a TRX.
Yeah, just start with that shit and then obviously build up to
then
that.
Progress at a time.
Perfect.
Some kind of deadlift, hinge, and hinge in motion, RDL, stiff leg deadlift, barbell deadlift. They're going to be some of the most important movements you can have. They engage the most muscles. I think it was found that a deadlift engages one of, if it's not the highest amount of musculature across the body during a lift in terms of whole body.
You've clearly never tried to straighten out shit before.
Huh?
You've clearly never.
Oh well,
yeah.
So I feel like if you're doing a heavy deadlift, you're on par. you're on par with constipation.
So we're talking about movement patterns right now. So for those that, so you know what we're talking about. We're talking about movement patterns. There's 8 movement patterns in the body. One is locomotion, walking. We're not going to talk about that. That's pretty self-explanatory. I would say go out and walk. Obviously, that's important. One of them is rotation, which is important to some degree, but not essential for desk posture. The 6 that we're talking about are squat, hinge, vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, horizontal pull, and you can split out your entire week with just those 6 movements. and it simplifies life. And that's for compounds. Then we talk into isolations, which, for example, bicep curl. A pull-up is a compound and a bicep curl is an isolation. That's not a movement pattern so much. That's just a isolation of a muscle that contributes to the movement pattern. So if you want to simplify it, focus on the movement patterns first, build your program that way, and then start adding complexity.
Didn't you once say to me that there is one movement pattern that you will not get DOMs from? Do you remember what that was?
No, that's not movement patterns. That's one concentric action of the muscle.
Which movement was it?
Slip push.
Yeah. I found that really interesting because I delved into it after you said it.
Yeah.
Because Nick enlightened me to the fact that you could do as many sled pushes on the planet and you don't get DOMs.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever put any muscle through a significant range.
As long as there's no eccentric action to it, which there shouldn't be because it's a push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? But that's it. There's an easy way to look at your workouts. And if you want more planning and structure, there are so many things you can find on our YouTube channels, our Instagrams, that have got details and they give information to help you out in this region. It really isn't that complicated when you're working out. Do some kind of squat, do some kind of deadlift, do some kind of like bench press, dumbbell bench press or a row.
If we're going to go I know you're about to wrap up, I can feel it. If we get to a very practical application of this very quickly, let's say 3 workouts a week. You would do a squat, a vertical push, and a horizontal push, for example. So that's a push workout. Then you do a pull workout, which will be hip hinge, vertical pull, horizontal pull. And then you could do a whole workout where you could do a blend of both. And that's normally a good way of doing it.
Yeah, and it balances out your time then. You're not wasting so much time in the gym doing hours and hours of training. I can't ever go into the gym for more than 2 hours these days. I don't know how I used to do it.
Oh, you mean training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. I don't think I could ever get to that point
Once you
again.
go down to 3 days a week, 45 minutes, life is better.
It feels so much better because you're getting so much quality. And one of the key things, I want to add this in before we do wrap up. Train with intensity. Stop training like you literally just need to get in and get out. Go into the set with conviction, knowing that you want to get the most out of it for the time you're there. When you are in the gym, you are in the lion's den, you're in your own head, you're there to make progress, you're not there just to tick boxes. You're going to do good squats, good quality movements, and teach yourself to lift properly. Get something out of it. Don't just be like, I've been to the gym today. Be like, I've been to the gym and I've learned something new about something.
And that is what we call controlled aggression.
That's what you call controlled aggression.
Way of talking about it. But be aggressive. Be aggressive in your lifts.
Get in there, get the lifts done, and do some intent. Well, we're going to wrap up there. It's a really good pod, guys. We appreciate you stopping on this one. We've got some fantastic guests down the line coming on. We've got 2 ladies because we realised it's been very male-dominant recently. But we appreciate you guys sticking around. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for helping this podcast grow. Catch you guys later.